way. This time I cut across through Hurricane and, that way, and then came up 15. And I actually went past Beaver and then turned around and came back so I could assess you from I-15 both directions. And I got to say that most of the first impressions you see from I-15 do not paint a very pretty picture of Beaver County. Abandoned cars, warehouses, trailer. You know what? So I got to tell you, that's how people judge you. Is it fair? No, but that's what they do. And so, first thing, I would like you to just cancel your billboard sales. I don't know how much you're spending a month or anything, but I would just, first of all, you cannot read this from a distance. Way too much on it. And so I want to talk to you about the rule of billboards. By the way, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 things. And by the way, how many of you have seen a billboard immediately went from 85 miles an hour to slam on the brakes, pull over so you can write down the phone number? Okay, so let's talk about the rule of billboards. Here's the deal. And by the way, this goes for some of you in business that are using billboards too. So make sure there's a call to action. Tell me why I should take the next exit. I'll tell you, one of the best billboard campaigns in the United States is on Interstate 80. So if you leave Salt Lake, head up past Park City and head into Wyoming, there's Little America. They have a travel center. The only thing there is a hotel, a restaurant, a gift shop, and a gas station. That's it. But when you're going along Interstate 80, that's what they do. And by the way, they raised the price 2 years ago to 50 cents. I just haven't gone back to update it. So they do 50-cent cones, 30 miles. And if that's not enough, they have 24-hour relief spotless restrooms. So you know what I did? And you see those. When you go across, you see those constantly. 50-cent ice cream cones. By the way, so I went to them a couple years ago and I said, I'd like to know how much money you make a year non-ice cream. The ice cream is just a way to get people to stop. That's all it is. That's what you need to do in Beaver, get us a reason to stop. And they said, well, the spotless restrooms, the 50-cent ice cream cones add up to $12 million a year in non-ice cream sales. It's a call to action. By the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. So even this billboard, it's pretty. I can't read it unless I stop, pull over. And it doesn't tell me it says your adventure starts here, which by the way, I could probably name another 150 communities that use the very same words. There's nothing on there that says why my adventure should start in Beaver. I have a beautiful picture of somebody on a quad in the sunset. And so, no more than 12 words, 8 or fewer is best on billboards. This was Winnemucca, Nevada. Look at this, home of Sadie Myers and all this. They put all this stuff there. So you know what they did? They switched it. Butch Cassidy left you rich, so can you. Pretty clever. So whatever you need to do, you need to get their attention. That works. Here's the other thing. You need to put them where they can make a decision. Your billboards are right next to your exit. How many people are going to... Beaver, did you read all that? Did you catch the phone number? Whoa, take the exit right now. And so you need to, they're in the wrong location. They need to be further out. And use contrasting colors, use one simple graphic. And by the way, billboards, if I go back to this, need to be 2 to 5 miles away from the exit. And even then at 85 miles an hour, if anybody even goes that slow, right? You have like a minute and a half for somebody to make a decision. So you need to get them further away. And by the way, this doesn't apply to just the county. This applies to everybody using them. And so use contrasting colors. By the way, if you go up and down 15, you will see where businesses have bought like 6 billboards. They just put one simple message on each one for that very reason. By the way, you have 4 seconds on a billboard. 4 seconds to get people's attention. That's how long they'll have to look at it. This is a perfect one. There it is. Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, next exit. Boom. One very simple graphic. And by the way, this contrasts with the sky. You know what the problem with this? It's the same color sky, it just blends in, particularly on a cloudy day. And you just can't see that from a distance. By the way, this is me stopped on the side of the freeway with a telephoto lens. Use yellow on a dark background. You want to see a perfect, there's only one winery in all of Nevada, and there it is, free wine tasting, yellow on black. Call to action. Prump Winery, gift shop, wine tours, restaurant, turn on Winery Road. No phone numbers, no directions, no street addresses. And they should never look like print ads. Even that one simple graphic. So, give us a reason to stop. There it is, 2 to 5 miles to the side. So what I want you to do is, right now, what I want you to do is just stop. I mean, maybe they're donating them to you, I don't know, but I would just save the money for right now. Okay? And by the way, this is in town. I mean, even though I'm going 40 miles an hour, I think I counted this, and there was like 65 words on 2 billboards. Way too much. How many of you have actually, you know where this is, up at the north end of town, how many of you have actually said, well, let me pull over so I can read all that stuff? You don't. So, ineffective. 55, oh, here it is, 55 words on these 2 billboards. There should be no more than 8 per billboard. That's 16 words. Okay? By the way, now that's a perfect billboard. Whether you like it or not, it works. A few words, you eat it, beaver taco, eat fresh. Perfect. I mean, it works. And then, by the way, when you're at the north end, trophy room inside. Is there a trophy room inside the tire shop? There is? I was totally confused over, is this related to that? Or is that, I mean, you see new and used tires, trophy room inside. So those are the things you don't know inside of what. I didn't know whether it was somewhere else, whether it was in the Love the Art or somewhere else. It didn't say. And by the way, if you're up at that end, here's the other deal. You have a lot of stuff on your 2 exits. If you were to take that north exit, this is the first thing you see is this. And by the way, it says something like your tire source on here. Then you go, then the next thing you see is that billboard, which isn't very effective, by the way. It should come down. You should do an abatement ordinance, you know, and say, hey, if that's not being used in the next 90 days, we're taking it down as a county or a city. And, you know, you need to do that. I mean, you know, by the time I get here, I'm going, why bother? Let's turn around and go back to 15. And it's pretty much the same thing at the other end. You have these huge gaps between your 2 exits, and there's really nothing to entice me to go to the middle. And so, you know, I did see, if you go far enough, there's the back side of this. We go far enough, we do this. And, you know, I think this is really a stunning entrance into Beaver. My problem is, I even saw somebody trying to get their picture taken here, but this blasted sign is in the way of every picture. So I thought, could you do something? You know what I'd really like you to see you do? First of all, over time, I would like to see Beaver get rid of these concrete bunkers. They look like grave markers. And so what I'd like you to do is get rid of them, but I'd like you to put something over here so it says, welcome to Beaver, and people will stand there and take their picture in front of the fountain without having to have a billboard in the background. So I'm not against billboards necessarily, but I just think that's in the wrong. I can't take a picture of them together. And so I'd take down the concrete sign, build a new one, and make it a photographic opportunity for visitors, since I was really here. And so here's my experience. So I'll turn that all the way down. And so here I am coming down. This is from the south. I'm heading north. So I'm cruising down the street, and this is what I see. So first I go, oh my gosh, there's just nothing here. Why am I doing this as a visitor? There's no wayfinding that says there's a downtown up here. There's no wayfinding at all anywhere in your county. And I understand this is a UDOT street, but we're going to talk about that. I know it's a highway, actually. And so I'm driving, and I see corrals, and I see horses and cattle, which is all fine. It's very picturesque, nothing negative. And so, but I'm still going as a visitor, why should I keep doing this? And then as I come up here, I do see, a couple of sad places. I see the Sleepy Lagoon Motel with all the doors are open, by the way, so you could stay there for free, I think. Well, you might get arrested for trespassing, but as a matter of fact, here it is on the left. Then we got the roof is off that barn. We see a nice house right here. So I have kind of mixed feelings. I still don't see anything anywhere. It looks like I'm going forever. And remember, as a visitor, driving 2 or 3 miles feels like 10 or 15. So I just keep going. Now we see a fork in the road, but I'm assuming I'm just going to follow it around. It looks like a nice nursery there off to the left. And then I start to see a lot of farm implements on the left. I'm not sure whether these are on display or whether somebody just parked them there. And so I keep going, and I see some storage of mobile homes, and then I see kind of an old sign there. And, I'm still wondering, what the heck, is there anything up here? Now, all of a sudden, it gets even wider yet. It's a Utah problem that when we get into the commercial areas, let's make the streets really wide so that people can just blow through town faster. And so we're starting to come in here. Now I'm starting to see, okay, maybe there's some hope. Maybe there is something here. And so now I'm starting to see, whoa, look, there is actual life here. But there's no signs to get me from that point to here. If I wasn't doing an assessment, I would have never made it this far. And so now I can see that there is an actual downtown, stay in your lane. And so now I'm saying, okay, this is pretty cool. This is pretty nice right here. And I won't take it very further because you've probably done this so many times in your sleep that you could do it in your sleep. And so now I thought, ooh, this is pretty cool downtown. Okay. But one of the problems in Utah is that, you know what? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes plus a parking lane and parking lane. It is so wide that there is no incentive for people to slow down. They just blow right through. And so this is as far as I'll take you right here with this. Okay? So anyway. Okay, I can stop anytime right now. Mike's Food Town, that was important. So I guess I'm still going. And so you can see what the experience is. Now, right about here, I have no idea that this would connect to the other I-15 at the other end. There's no signs. There's nothing. And so along the way, what you see are things like this. The number one priority, whether it's county or city, I would do an abatement ordinance and I would start enforcing it. Because I can't decide whether you're a town that's dying or an area that's dying or a town that's coming back. But that tells me it's a town that's dying. Okay? I mean, I'm sure that this just happened, right? Last one. And how long ago was it? 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay. So I assume because Sinclair's usually, and people that own the Sinclairs are usually pretty good. So I'm good. Okay? And then, next suggestion. By the way, see all these number 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, there's a bunch of them. These are all suggestions. There's no recommendations in this. I never talked to you first. It wouldn't be right for me to come and say, oh, you should do this, county, city, towns, when I've never even talked to you first. So I just want to let you know that all these numbers you see are just suggestions. This whole assessment's meant to be a conversation starter. By the way, you may say things here, you may be thinking, well, we're already working on it. Well, we don't know that. I never talked to you first. And you know what? I just validated it, why you should be working on it. Okay? So one of the things you need to do is wayfinding. That is vehicular signs, visitor information, restrooms, parking, attractions, activities. All of these different things are part of a wayfinding sign system. And just so you know, the Utah Office of Tourism is your biggest advocate for highway signs because we understand this is UDOT. It is not Beavers Roads. It's not the county road. This is a state highway. She will work with you. And that's Vicki over at Tourism. Here's one thing. Having worked with many, many state departments of transportation, is they have 2 primary functions: public safety and moving traffic. In many states, they're adding a third one called economic development. In New York City, they are closing off their streets, the most congested city. They're closing down the streets and they're narrowing their lanes. Why? because congestion is a downtown's very best friend. So what you do here is in downtown Beaver, what we do is it's 2 lanes, and then when we get in downtown where you want it to be pedestrian friendly, let's double the width. That's stupid. And it has to change because it makes it less pedestrian friendly. As a matter of fact, it's speed limit 40, and then it slows down to 30. Have you ever seen anybody actually slow down to 30? No, they're still going 40, if not faster, because now we have twice as many lanes. It's bad philosophy, okay? And so wayfinding signs should be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Never more than 5 items on a sign. Signs like this. You need to have some of these. It plays a role in your branding efforts. Whatever it is you want to be known for, your signs would look like that. It's a major component in your marketing efforts because I don't know where anything is in this county. I see a few highway signs, but not much. It reinforces a positive experience. It increases spending. It educates your visitors and locals about what you've got and where it's located. And it builds community pride, and it's as much a science and art. It is not a public works project, period. Wayfinding is a very narrow expertise. So you know what? I would get the county, City of Beaver, Milford, Millard, and Minersville together and create a countywide wayfinding task force. Because right now what you have is these nodes at both ends. And I don't know what's in the middle. You got that cool thing. There's no signs that tell you that there's anything in there. None. And you can't see it from 15. And there's nothing that tells you, oh, by the way, here's where you go out here and we have some amazing stuff out there or out that way. There's no sign. Wouldn't it be cool if you had signs like that that did exactly that? I mean, that might be, this sign here, I think is like $4,000. But you know what? If you had 10 of these, you'd be set. Because there's no signs that say Eagle Point. There's no signs that tell you there's sports fields out there. I found them by accident. All I had to do was follow all the teams the last few days, and I ended up out there. I mean, that's all you have to do. Logic Restaurants, I-50, and you do it both ways. Because you know what? That's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And by the way, I even missed that the first time I drove through. And studies show that wayfinding will increase retail sales between 14 and 28%. And by the way, navigation systems are not a substitute. Everybody says, I know the argument, well, you know, we all have cell phones, we all have navigation. You know what the difference is? A navigation system, we punch in things we already know exist. Wayfinding tells us that you have stuff that we didn't even know you had. That's the difference. So that is not a substitute at all. So that was